when I first downloaded Deadlock, I wasn't just bad. I was the kind of teammate that made people question if matchmaking was broken. Like, seriously, if there was a leaderboard for feeding, I would have been top 10 globally. Now, after hundreds of hours, I feel like I'm just starting to get in my bag and I'm slowly working on being one of the GOATs.
That's why he's the GOAT!
So, I'm making this video to help new players as well as remind myself of 15 important tips to help win more games. Be sure to also watch to the end because I will be giving a bonus tip that has helped me tremendously in my growth. Tip number 1 is going to be to simply know the map. Knowing where the teleporters are, vents, secret shops, camps, and center sacrifices are located are going to be very important to the overall flow of the game. Deadlock is a game of understanding what you need to do before you do it to get ahead, and if you don't understand or know the map, it makes the game way harder. Tip 2 is going to be to get used to the movement of Deadlock. One of the biggest things that sets Deadlock apart from other MOBAs is going to be its movement. You're not just clicking from point A to point B, you're running, sliding, jumping, ziplining, and then chaining all of those mechanics together. So I would highly recommend just spending some time in the Explore New York City option or even a bot game. It's going to be the perfect place for you to practice your movement while also learning the map layout, shortcuts, routes without the pressure of a real match. I'm honestly still in the process of getting better with movement. I get stuck on corners and shit all the time, but when I get it down, I'm definitely going to make a video breaking the movement down in more detail so that you guys can benefit from it too. Tip number 3 is going to be to clear your wave. So good players will consistently prioritize catching every wave because missing waves is going to be the fastest way to fall behind, since the waves are going to be the far best way to gain souls. Clearing and pushing waves will also give you map visibility. Tip 4 is a big one. So around the map, there are going to be these slot machines called center sacrifices. You want to melee this machine 4 times with a heavy melee to enter the jackpot phase. You want to be aware though that as you hit this machine, you're going to take damage, so it's going to be more efficient to use your heavy melee, as light melees are going to drain more of your health, but then they're also going to take double the amount of time to enter that jackpot phase. Once you're in the jackpot phase though, the lights at the top of the machine are going to flash from left to right. If you heavy melee this perfectly so that it lands when all the lights are lit, you're going to get 4 permanent golden statue buffs. If you just use a light melee when the lights are lit, then you're only going to get 1 buff. So obviously you want to try to go for the heavy melee so that you benefit more from it. Tip number 5 is going to be to communicate with your team. One of the easiest ways to improve your chances of winning the game is to actually communicate. If you're not sure what the right play is, don't be afraid to ask your team what they think. Whether it's going to be going for earn, taking mid boss, or deciding which lane to push, a quick question can get everybody on the same page, as well as keeping a good attitude is going to help you win more games. Deadlock has a huge comeback potential, but those comebacks almost never happen if your team is arguing with each other. It's easy to get frustrated. I definitely do sometimes, but you got to try not to let that frustration turn into blaming your teammates. Instead, focus on the next objective and what you can do. Encourage your teammates and keep everybody working together towards the same goal of winning the game, and you'd be surprised how many games can turn around when the team stays positive and everyone keeps communicating. Tip number 6 is going to be to play the damn objective, right? The biggest ones are going to be the earn, the rift, and the mid boss. After the most recent update, the earn has become much more of a solo objective, but the rift is going to be that more king of the hill style objective that we had previously with the earn. So this rift is going to require your whole team to fight for control, but both the rift and the earn can give your team a big advantage, but timing is everything. Before you start any objective, you always want to ask yourself a few questions. Does your team have a numbers advantage? Are there a couple enemies dead? Is your team close enough to you that if a fight were to break out, they would be able to help you, right? If the answer is no, forcing the objective might end up giving the enemy team an opportunity. And sometimes the best decision is going to be to not contest the objective at all. Maybe you guys let the enemy team take the rift while your team destroys 1 or 2 walkers or picks off one of the enemy team. Maybe instead of chasing the earn, your team decides to secure mid boss. There isn't always one correct play. That's one of the things that makes Deadlock so interesting. Every match presents different choices, and the best teams are the ones that consistently evaluate the situation and choose the play that gives them the biggest advantage, not just the one that's directly in front of them. Sorry for interrupting the video. Before I move on to tip 7, if there's one simple, completely free thing you can do to help support the channel, it's to hit the subscribe button. And if you think you're already subscribed, maybe just double check, because if you subscribe, here's my promise to you. I'll keep putting everything I have into making the best Deadlock content possible. Whether that's beginner guides, patch recaps, lore videos, hero guides, or anything else that helps you just enjoy or improve at Deadlock, I'll keep showing up and making videos that are worth your time. Now let's get on to tip 7. Tip 7 is going to be to break boxes and golden statues whenever you're rotating around the map. Anytime you're waiting for the next wave or moving from one lane to another, you want to break those boxes and golden statues along the way. They have a chance to drop souls and permanent buffs, and while 1 or 2 pickups might not seem like much, they really add up over the course of a match. Those extra souls can get you to the next item upgrade just a little bit faster, and that timing can be the difference and reason you win the next fight. At the 10-minute mark, there's going to be a ton of boxes that spawn on blue above the mid-boss, so if it's safe to do, head under the bridge, take the stairs down, and clear them out. It's going to be a quick way to pick up a nice chunk of extra resources without having to fight anybody, but you want to remember to only go when it's safe. Don't give up on an objective or get caught out trying to farm a few extra boxes. Tip number 8 is going to be find a build before you load into a match. The last thing you want to do is waste time in the match staring at the shop trying to figure out what to buy. If you found a hero you enjoy playing, just do a little research beforehand, then open the in-game build browser and look for a build that checks 3 boxes. First, you want to make sure it's up to date. Because Deadlock changes so often, older builds can become outdated. Second, you want to make sure the builds are created by top pro players, because they're usually optimized for the current patch and they give you a good foundation to learn from. And finally, you want to pick a build that's simple to follow. Some builds are packed with a ton of situational options, which can be a little bit overwhelming when you first start learning the game. But if you look for builds that say buy left to right, as you get more experience, you'll start understanding why certain items are built in different situations. Eventually, you'll be able to adapt your build from game to game, but when you're starting out, there's nothing wrong with starting a build made by someone else that's super simple to follow. Tip number 9 is going to be to use your stamina wisely. And this tip right here is super tough for me. I cannot tell you how many times I have ran out of stamina and died because of it. Stamina is going to be one of the most important resources in Deadlock, and it's something a lot of new players don't pay enough attention to. They'll just shift spam the stamina and dash around the map thinking they have infinite stamina. But every hero only starts with 2 to 4 bars of stamina, and you can get more stamina through certain items and abilities, but because of that, you want to know how your hero plays and how many stamina bars they start off with. You want to make sure you have stamina, because if you get into a fight or you need to escape, a couple stamina bars can be the difference between getting away with 10 health or giving the enemy a free kill. Tip number 10 is going to be play and win at least 1 match with every hero. So this is actually going to be one of my favorite tips, because this is something I actually did myself, because during the winter patch there was a challenge where if you had won a game on every single hero, you'd unlock a unique trophy for your hideout. It sounded like a fun goal, so I decided to go for it, but what I didn't expect was just how much I'd learned along the way. Every hero in Deadlock feels completely different. They all have unique weapons, movement, abilities, and playstyles. For example, 7, he uses a 3-round burst rifle, while the Doorman has a slow but it's super powerful shot that rewards precise aim, while Graves doesn't really require pinpoint accuracy, but instead her challenge is getting close enough to you so that she can connect her shots. But by playing each hero, you're going to quickly start to understand what they're good at, what their weaknesses are, how their abilities work, and then that knowledge is going to be valuable even if you never plan on maining that hero. Not only is this going to help you discover which heroes you enjoy, but it's going to make you a much better opponent. When you know what the enemy is working with in terms of their abilities, it's a lot easier to predict their next move. You'll be able to play around their cooldowns or avoid getting caught off guard. So even if you don't fall in love with every hero, I'd still recommend giving each one a chance. Tip number 11 is going to be to don't forget to use your abilities. This might sound obvious, but I don't just mean like your hero's abilities. Of course, you got to use those. But did you know that items also have abilities? When you're new, it's easy to focus only only on your heroes kit, but completely ignore the active items. I realized that there were active items, and then I didn't even want to use them because for the longest time, it felt like there was already so much to keep track of that I didn't want another button to worry about on my keyboard. But once you get comfortable with the game, active items can become the strongest tools that you have. They can help you escape, lock down an enemy, save a teammate, or just completely change the outcome of a fight. So don't be afraid to start incorporating them into your builds. You don't have to learn every single active item all at once. You just want to pick one or two, get used to using them consistently, and then slowly expand, right? You'll be surprised how many situations go from, oh man, I'm definitely gonna die, to I don't know how I made it out of that situation, but you know how because you used the active ability. Tip number 12 is gonna be you wanna confirm and deny souls. So where other MOBAs like League of Legends have a last hit mechanic that will secure the money you make, Deadlock has a little bit of a twist. When troopers die, they have a soul orb that will appear above it. When an enemy trooper dies, if you shoot the soul orb, you will confirm the souls for your team. When one of your own troopers dies, you can shoot its soul orb to deny it, preventing the enemy team from collecting those souls while giving your team the value instead. It might not seem like a big deal at first, but consistently confirming your own souls while denying your opponents can create a massive economy advantage over the enemy team that can snowball into an easy win. Tip number 13 is going to be to get in the habit of checking your HUD. Your HUD is constantly giving you valuable information, and the better you get at reading it, the better your decision making will become. One of the biggest things to pay attention to is going to be the soul count. You can see how many souls both your teammates and the enemy team have, which this is going to give you a good idea of who's ahead and who's behind. If someone on the enemy team is way ahead in souls, you probably don't want to take a 1v1 against them. On the other hand, if you spot someone who's behind on souls, that may be an opportunity for your team to pressure them. Your HUD will also show you who has their ultimate ability. This is also giving you another piece of information that will decide whether or not you should take a fight. Then you have your minimap. If there's one habit I recommend building, it's glancing at your minimap every few seconds. It's going to tell you where your teammates are, which enemies are visible, where waves are being pushed, and when important objectives are available. The more often you check it, the fewer surprises you'll have. A lot of new players spend the entire match only looking directly at what's in front of them, and I don't blame them at first because I was there too. There's a lot going on in the game that you have to worry about to learn, but the players who improve the fastest are going to be the ones who learn to gather information from their HUD and use it to make better decisions before a fight even starts. Tip number 14 is going to be get comfortable with parrying. One thing that makes Deadlock so unique is its melee system. Every hero has access to melee attacks alongside their weapon, and some heroes like Abrams and Billy rely on them much more than others. There are going to be two types of melee attacks: light melees and heavy melees. If you time your parry correctly, mine's bound to F, which I believe is the default, you'll block the enemy's melee, stun them, and leave them completely vulnerable for your team to punish. So don't go running around throwing punches like you're invincible. If someone parries your melee, then there's a pretty good chance that you're about to die, and honestly, the death isn't even the worst part, it's the embarrassment of being parried. But heavy melees are going to be the easiest to learn because they have a very distinct audio cue before they connect. Once you recognize the sound, you'll have a much easier time with timing your parries. And light melees are going to be a little bit more trickier because they're faster and they don't come with that audio cue, but with enough practice you'll start reacting to those two. Tip number 15 is going to be stay up to date with the game. Deadlock is still evolving, which means the game is constantly changing. Heroes get buffed, nerfed, or even completely reworked from time to time, as well as items and objectives are adjusted from patch to patch. A strategy or a build that you may have used a few weeks ago might not be the best choice today. So because of that, it's going to be worth taking a few extra minutes whenever a new update drops to read the patch notes or watch a breakdown from someone you trust. Staying informed will help you understand what's changed and keep you one step ahead of the players who jumped in without reading the patch notes. So for the bonus tip, it may seem simple, but it's going to be to set goals before your matches. This one also might not be for everybody because at the end of the day, this is a game and games are supposed to be fun, but if you suck ass, you're not gonna have a good time. You're gonna end up quitting and not coming back, but that's not what I want for anybody who wants to put in the effort and time to get good at the game. If you want to get good at Deadlock, then you have to actively work on your skills in the game. And you can start by doing that by just setting small goals for yourself whenever you play. When I first started, I had a very simple goal of not dying for the first 12 minutes of the game. And can you guess why I chose that goal for myself? It's because I died a lot. But this goal forced me to think about my positioning and when I should take a fight and when I should back off. Maybe in one game, your goal is to never miss a wave during the lane phase. Then the next game, you focus on breaking boxes while you rotate between lanes. Then the game after that, you combine both of those goals and make sure that you're also collecting your center sacrifices whenever it's safe. Eventually, those goals will stop feeling like something you have to actively think about, and they'll become more automatic. And once that happens, then you can move on to the next set of skills and then keep building from there. That's generally how improvement works. You don't become a better Deadlock player overnight. You get better little by little every game, focusing on one thing at a time. And I promise if you do that consistently, you'll look back a month from now and realize you're a much better player today than you were. Those are going to be the 15 tips that I wish I knew when I first started playing Deadlock. And if you're a newer player, I'd love to know which tip you like the most. And for any other experienced players out there, if you have any other tips that you'd like to add, please leave them down in the comments below. Also, before you leave, I would love if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see me put these tips into practice live or just hang out while I climb the Deadlock ranks, learn new heroes, and answer questions, come join us over on Twitch. The link is going to be down in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.